I just love your energy, your vibe, and just how you explain things, and it made it so simple to me. Um,
I'm
and I
so
want to say
glad.
also that I am a registered nurse. And
Okay.
so I have a nurse that's in my nurse entrepreneur group who does
Ah,
government contracting. But man, I can understand nothing she was going over. And
understood.
so I'm so happy just to say I found you. So I'll just end it
I
from
love
there.
it. No, no, and you know what's funny? To that point, when I first started my own government contracting journey, so many people started asking me, do you have a course? Do you do this? I was like, no, no, I ain't,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And I'm like, you need to explain stuff to me, Barney style, so I can
Hmm.
understand the base and then build from there. And that's kind of how I started, where there was one person who explained it the right way. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on now.
Mm,
So I really like to, that's the only way I understand. So that's exactly how I explain things at the
yeah.
Barney level. And then I'm telling the truth, no
Yeah.
shade. There's a lot of people out here that are not really telling the full truth. And I'm extremely transparent. So it has to be understood because I'm telling
Right.
exactly what I'm going through every time. So,
Right.
so
And I
yeah.
promise you, I've heard government contracting for about 3 or 4 years, but you were the first person who talked about like having money on the side. And I'm like, what? Huh?
You're
No
like, just
one has
go and
ever.
do it. You're like, just go
Yeah.
and do it. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
breeze. And I'm like,
Right, exactly. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I start saving my coins up. So I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, I got a separate account for this. I need to do this. So
good
you
for
were the
you.
first person that said that. Even the nurse in that entrepreneur group, she never said anything. She only talks about her receipts. Yeah.
But
But
real people need to know the ins and outs. So
right,
yeah, I know
right,
you got to show the receipts, and some people get on me about not showing my receipts, and I'm like, well, I mean, I have a business. You guys
right,
see it
right.
all on everything, so I'm not
Exactly.
hiding anything. So, but anyway, this time is for
Exactly.
you. I want to know how you're feeling about everything, where you're at. I know you stated that you're kind of stuck on where you want to go.
Yeah.
So just expand on that a little bit.
Okay. So yes, that's where I'm really at. Just trying to navigate to where I need to go. So let me I may sound like I'm all over the place, but
No, please.
so I am a registered nurse. I've been a travel nurse. I've been a nurse for 18 years. I've been
Wow.
traveling for 16 years. So I've been on the road.
Wow.
And so it was about 2 years ago I decided I don't want to go on the road anymore. It was probably during COVID when I came back from New York, Texas. Oh, I was just everywhere because that
Wow.
was my I had to travel. And so it's been about that time I came back home, made some good money, something I've never thought I would see in my life.
Good for
But
you. Good for you.
but I understand COVID, and they're like you're putting your life out there, and I get it. And so I really wanted to make good with the money. So I invested it all in real estate.
Okay.
I threw that money there, so now I own about 5 properties
Good for
since
you.
2020. So
Good for you.
so that's where I've been. So, and it's good. I love it. I actually learned real estate on YouTube. I graduated from YouTube University.
I did too in
That's
real
where I
estate.
learned
I
it.
did too. Yep. I'm with you. Yep.
So I said, "Hey, I can do this." So when I was looking over something with someone else, I don't remember. I said, he said, "Well, if you're doing real estate, how are you going to sell that to the government?" I'm like, I don't know. And he said, well, listen, you need to find something to sell to the government. I'm like, okay. So that's where I get stuck because right now, the only thing I know is nursing and real estate. So that's where I get stuck. Like, what else can I do? I've been trying to come up with a name. So what I decided to do, and you tell, so what I decided to do is do maybe like a consulting business.
You said coaching,
Consulting.
consulting. Okay. What type of consulting?
Only thing I know is nursing. So one of my friends, well, she's not a friend, excuse me. We belong to the same church. She kind of threw me in this. Her parents threw me in this. So they know my son. I have grown children. My daughter is 33. My son is 32.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
my son's a math teacher. And so sometimes at the church, he teaches some of the kids. And someone came up to me, and I have a very large church, and I
Mhm.
hardly know anybody in there. But someone came to me and said, "Someone told me you were a nurse." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "I want you to talk to my daughter because she wants to quit nursing
Mm.
after 2 years. We spent too much money. She wants to quit." So they invited me to their home. I came over and we talked for the longest time. So I just show her different things that you can do in nursing if this is what you want
Nice.
to do. So long story short, she decided to stay and they were
Good.
so happy, so grateful. So she calls me everywhere I go. She tells people, "That's my mentor. She's my mentor." And I thought,
You're like
"Hey,
me.
maybe
Good for
right."
you. That's
So
great.
I thought maybe, hey, maybe I could do mentoring. That's what came up with this
Mhm.
consultant. And but then it came back as that it was a guy who said, "So how are you going to sell that to the government?" So I'm thinking, well, how am I going to sell that to the government? So
No, no, that's all very great. That's how it starts, right? It's like you help
okay.
one person and it feels great, and you're like, I might be able to do this.
Uh-huh.
So when it comes to nurse, and I'm not cutting you off, right?
No, 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 you're not.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So when it comes to nursing, first of all, thank you for your service. My sister is also a
Mhm.
nurse. I do understand what you guys go through and the sacrifice. I knew that I could not be in the medical field. When I was in the
Yeah.
military, I had to give a catheter, and I was like, oh, that's it. There's no way. Not for me, right? So thank you for what you do.
Oh, well, now let me take a break from there and thank you for your
Oh,
service. And that was very rude of me because I am a
oh,
daughter of a Marine. And
ah,
my goodness,
yeah,
my
that's
father,
another
oh my goodness.
sector of the military. That's a whole other section. So I
Right.
get it. I get it. And thank you. So when it comes to nursing, you are extremely flexible. The same flexibility that you have in the free world is the same flexibility that you have on the military, on the government contracting side. So you can probably do some of all the things that you know how to do. So sometimes I'm not in the medical field, so I don't see a lot of them come through because I'm not looking. But if you were to start looking for medical related contracts, you'll probably find certain things that you're like, I didn't even think I can do that. But they're literally asking for someone to give IVs one day because they have a military event where they're just, showing people the significance of giving IVs. And then you just come in with your expertise and you do that for one day, you write your invoice, and then you're on your way. The consultations, now that may be a little bit different depending on what the government, or it could be the government, it could be the local government, or it could be corporate. Now, the good thing about corporate is, well, one thing, it's a little harder to get familiar with, but sometimes people are able to get into the corporate side of contracting easily because they have a connection, right? But say you get in there by yourself or you get in there through connection just with corporate. Right now, the agenda is healthy workspace, right? So whatever you can offer to those corporate agencies is still within your wheelhouse. So it's not necessarily nursing, like I'm a nurse. Here's the thing that all the thousands of things that you all do, but it's something specific, like implement a program on working out.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it falls under your category because it's medical related. These people don't know. These are corporate companies. They have the slightest idea. They're looking for a medical professional, which is you, to tell them, yes, everyone needs to drink 16 fluid ounces of water a day. Here's
Mhm.
how you do it. Sometimes it's literally that easy.
Wow.
Now you're one of my smart people, I already know, and you're gonna make this hard because you always do. It's literally that simple.
Mhm.
Now, when you start
Okay.
looking through some of the medical contracts, because you're gonna set yourself up on whether it's where are you located, by the way? I'm sorry.
In Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina. So you're on the Eastern Standard Time. So when you sign up for the North Carolina State procurement services, and they start delivering you solicitations for the local side, and then you set yourself up with other bid delivery services. And I'm going to
Mhm.
start sending them as a bonus for my students anyway. But when those things start to come through, and you see something that literally says looking for a program for youth to get into medical services,
Mm.
that's something that you would jump on. You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
They literally just want you to write up something super simple that shows youth you need to do. These are the steps you need to take. You need a, I don't know, a 3.5 in high school to get to that. If you have a pathway option in your school, you take the medical pathway. Then when you graduate, you go to these top 10 PWI schools or these top 5 HBCUs. These are the ones that are medical friendly. Or you can go to like a local college and take these specific classes or these specific classes to get you started and then transfer. It's literally like the steps that the conversation you had with that young lady, you write that all up in a pretty little and put in a pretty little bow on it and say that your company is who is issuing this program.
Okay.
It's exactly what they're asking. And usually, especially at the local level, they have everything written out of exactly what they want. And you just take that and say, my ABC company is going to do whatever it is that they wrote. You're going to implement a program that from age 9th through 12th grade for students who are looking to get into medical. You're writing whatever they say they want. You're saying that's what you offer.
Okay.
Like a resume. You take the resume, page, same thing. That's for the consultation side. But when it comes to the physical stuff side, it could either be, like I said, they just want someone to come in and do one thing, one day or 1 week or 1 month or whatever, whether it's you or someone that you know, a friend. And the same thing when it comes to like staffing. You may have some friends who are like, man, I'm just like, I don't have anything going on right now, but I do have a nursing degree. Do you have any spots that I can be filled into? Of course I do. I just won this government contract. So I can pluck you and put you in there, and now you have a job, and now I'm charging the government, I don't know, $300 an hour. I'm paying you $150 an hour. Boop, there it is.
Nice. Okay. Oh, you make it sound, this is why, oh my goodness, I just love you. I just love you. This is why I just love you. I promise you, the nurse in the group don't even talk like this. I'm like, huh? Just listening to her, just give me just headache. But she tells me, this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. But yeah.
Because it's from her lens, right? Like she's looking at it from, this is what I did. That's it. I'm respectfully, that must be how she's working. I have always been a student of the game. Long before I even thought about doing a course, long before I did consultations, I was studying what is government contracting, how can it work? So it wasn't just me going into it, doing facility management like I'm doing it now. It was, I don't understand government contracting. I'm confused. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And then I got into the corporate contracting in 2020, when everything was kind of shut down, and I really was trying to figure out how does that work? So they are kind of like two different worlds, but the same world, as far as like, you're just doing the same thing that you always do. It's just usually it's broken down and you're like, I can do that. Just like anything else, I can do that. And then you just bid on the contract, or you make the relationship, or you partner with someone, or, whatever those things that you already know you can do. We're just usually too afraid to do it. We feel like, why would they hire me? Why would they use me? Like, I don't know every single detail about this, so I can't do it. We know that's not true.
Right.
We know that's not how the world works.
Right.
That's how it is. And I'm telling you, most of them, it's so funny because I find myself saying this a lot now. Like with JT, usually with JT's group, like his core group, they usually like the dreamers. And they're not, I have to explain to them the basic stuff, which is fine. But my smart people like you, it's like, come on, you can do this. You know it. You know it. And all you got to do is find what you can do and remove any apprehensions or any fear or any, what other people are saying. Take everything with a grain of salt. Even take what I say as a grain of salt, because you're like, look, I ain't gonna do that. Fine. That's fine. But I want you to find whatever your niche is.
Okay. Can I throw real estate under that umbrella?
It wouldn't be under that umbrella.
Okay.
Now, sometimes you can combine certain industries. I'll say, yeah, go ahead and do that. I would not do that when it comes to nursing and real estate. Those are totally different stratospheres, right? Okay. But now say you're like, okay, I've been on this website and I mostly see real estate stuff. I think I want to start with real estate, Sheena. Maybe if I see something related to medical field, I'll do it, but I want to start with real estate. Same thing. Now, when it comes to real estate, though, usually the things that I see are leasing, that the government wants to lease a building. I don't really see, I don't, you have residential properties only?
They're just residential, yeah.
Every now and then they do, because they're trying to house like veterans or um, a slew of things. You know, they might want to
Mhm.
use it just for demonstration purposes or something like that, which is cool. And do you have tenants in there?
One, all my homes except for one I just keep open. It's a short-term rental,
Ah,
and I
gotcha.
use it for Airbnb. So that's a open, and it's the largest one because it's about 3,400 square foot home,
Oh yeah,
five
that's nice.
bedrooms,
Oh,
in-ground pool, backyard is massive. So I keep that home
mm,
open for events.
gotcha. Okay, so that might be the one where they might want to use it for. There's so many things. Like I'm even thinking about sometimes they do filming and they want to use a local residence for filming. That's a possibility too. Those are probably a little more few and far between, but it might be the time that you go. That's when
Right.
they want to do the filming. So I wouldn't take that off the table. But in the same thing with just your backyard, they may want to just use your backyard, just use your pool, those types of things. So sometimes they'll put those things out for bid, or sometimes they don't put it out for bid, but then you start networking with people and they're like, oh man, I sure wish I could find, an agency. I sure wish I could find da, 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 da. And you're like, here I am,
Yes.
because
Okay.
it's a combined amount of work, whether you're bidding on contracts, making relationships, becoming a sub, going to events, just trying to see what's out there.
So that would be a separate business if
I
I
would
do
say
real estate.
yes.
Okay.
Because if
Okay.
you think about it, like when it comes to you hiring somebody for your own house, right?
Uh-huh.
If that person does 50,000 things, does four different, vastly different industries, you'd be like, if you knew they did,
Mhm.
because people do whatever they want, right? But if they
Right.
do totally different things, you might question you might question how experienced they are with whatever you have them
That's
doing.
true.
The government is even worse,
That's true.
because if you're a new business, they're looking at you like, okay, there's no way you can do hair, have a do real estate is kind of like, anybody could do real estate, but like you
Right.
do hair, you're, a doctor and you're a vet and you do office supplies and you make clothes. They're like, wait a minute, you're a new business. How are you able to
Mhm.
do all these things? You're like a master of none in their eyes,
Mhm.
so I would say have two separate businesses, and that's actually works just fine because it doesn't cost a lot for either one of these things.
Mhm.
And then if you keep them separate and you start off with them being separate, then you don't have to worry about like, okay, now this one is doing way more than this one. What am I going to do with this? And then it's going to kind of
Mhm.
taper off. They're just going to be running at the same time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so much better. Okay, so much clarity. I feel like, okay, I got this. I just need to
You
come up with
do.
names, but I got this.
Yeah, you got it. You got, and keep it simple. I would say just try to be very, very be clear with your name, because I did have to change my name and it was not easy.
Okay.
And it was during COVID, so that didn't help. But it's not easy to change your name when it comes to your EIN.
Mhm.
So try to be married to that name and
Okay.
keep it simple. Like
Okay.
I think about the corporate sounding names. I talk about that on I'm sure you must have got that far with the course, but
Mhm.
the corporate sounding names, when you look at some of the big companies and how their names are kind of structured and their logo. But then you have GoDaddy, which is like
Right.
it's kind of like that debunks my whole method, but
Right.
now it's a household name. But when you're coming in, it can confuse people if the name is something not related to what you do, and
Mhm.
you may be skipped over for contracts because of that,
Mhm.
and you won't
Okay.
even know.
Well, I probably have to go back through this because I came up with Nova, and Nova means star. I really like that,
I
or
like
new.
that.
So I like Nova Consulting Group.
I like
But
that.
I don't know.
Just
So
make sure
I
it's
don't
not
know.
available. Make sure that you do a thorough, also something I said, a thorough search.
I will.
Like every variation on the trademark and what is it, the trademark and patent site, make sure that
Uh-huh.
it's not available, not taken already, because it is not easy to go back and now you have to hurry up and change,
Right.
your name.
Okay. All right. I said I was gonna go look at that because I thought about doing Sean something about Shonda, but there is a someone told me about her, and I did not know it was her, because I used to watch Grey's Anatomy all the time, Shonda Rhimes. But she has a
Ah,
lot of things, Shonda, and then she spells it correctly, the same way I spell mine. I'm like, oh my goodness. So when I saw I am Shonda, and I'm like, okay, now I can't even do that because
yeah.
she has an organization called I am Shonda R, and I'm Shonda R. Yeah.
Unless you put your whole last name.
I have to put my whole last name, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I'm Shonda R. I don't know, my Facebook page says Shonda Sene, but that's just for Facebook. That's not my
Gotcha.
real name. That's not my legal name.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
No,
yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay. All right.
However, yeah, however you want to do it, like I said, just be kind of married to the name so you don't have to worry about changing it and
Okay.
say it over and over to make it feel good when when you say it. And it took me a I had Sheenapreneur for so long and I hated it. It was like I couldn't get away from it, but then I just embraced it and I'm like, okay, here we are.
I like it. I like it.
It took a while. It took a while.
I like it. Foresight is very interesting too. I like
Yeah,
it. I like
that
it.
took a lot. It took me a year. I paid someone to give me that name because it was a different name, like I said,
Right.
and I hated it. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
like this. It's weird. Nobody knows how to say it. All those things. And I was
Right.
just like, okay, well, here we are. We're
I
here.
like it. I
Thank you.
like it. I like it. But thank you so very much. I feel empowered, inspired, and
Good.
um I just needed some clarity. I just feel like, oh my goodness, what but that makes sense. Okay. So, all right.
It's one step
But
at a time.
that's exactly what I'm doing. With my work schedule, it's hard, but my goal is to move away from the bedside. That is my
Mm,
goal. It's just to move away from the bedside, and I want a little bit more freedom to do other things. Um, Even with this nursing career, I still want to stay in nursing. I just don't want to work on the floor. So,
gotcha.
there's a lot of new upcoming things coming up in nursing that I would want to do. So, but it's just working on the floor. It's just, I guess as you get older, it's just a lot. It's just really a
I can,
lot.
I told you,
It's
I know
really a
someone that
lot.
cannot do it, and that's me. So
It's just really a lot.
I totally get it. And I can see you being like an advisor or a teacher, like just by the way you speak and how you're processing information. I can see you being like on a stage giving your experience about your career and like helping other people, bringing them into some sort of, like you said, you have a, nursing entrepreneurship group. I think
Mhm.
that's fantastic. That did you create it or you're a part of it or?
Oh, I'm just part of the group.
I think
Mhm.
that you can actually take that and build your own community with that, because if you felt good about giving someone your experience and taking them to keeping them in it and that
Right.
was a good feeling for you, then you can expound on that. I see that with you.
Yeah. I love it because, I graduated from HBCU, and I always tell
Yeah.
people maybe it's the HBCU in me, you know.
No,
But
it has to be
when
in you.
I
Which one,
first,
by the way, if you don't
oh,
mind?
North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina.
My daughter wanted to go to NCAT. She wanted to go to that one. Yeah.
And so when I see more Black students wanting to enter nursing, I always encourage them to do so. I always encourage them to do so.
Yeah.
And I couldn't encourage my children. My daughter is a CPA. My
Okay.
son, like I said, he's a math teacher. I
Mhm.
guess they saw me coming home and they were like, "Oh no, mama, I do not want to do that."
Sometimes they circle right back around and end up doing what you do. So you never know.
Always try to encourage the kids to join um nursing. It's a good career.
Yeah,
I don't complain about it. I've learned so much,
of
and it's
course.
just helping. And that sounds so cliche, but it is the compassion in helping people and seeing things turn around when they come back to you and say, "Oh, thank you for doing that," or "I survived because of you." And it's really heartwarming. So yeah.
No,
But
I think that's incredible. And then, me now, you saying it, it's probably like you're saying it's cliche, but people who are not in the medical field, like I have a clear understanding about the medical field. I worked in a
yeah,
medical unit for a long time in the military. So I got a better understanding than most people. But people who have never been in the medical field, what you're saying is profound. Like
Yeah.
it even gave me goosebumps for you to say like someone told you that they survived because of you.
Yeah.
Don't minimize that. That is freaking phenomenal. I don't want to cuss on this
Yeah.
recording, but that is so phenomenal. And
Yeah.
take and own that. Like you did that. And so if you're able to even do that as in addition to what you're doing in government contracting, like consulting people, like there are, I actually, my trainer, his wife is a nurse, and they have, of course, she has a bunch of nurse friends, and one of their nurse friends like goes around and teaches people how to get started in nursing, which I'm like, I didn't even know that
Nice.
was a thing. I didn't even know that was a
It
thing.
is. It really, really is. Yes.
Yes. And
It
so
really
like
is.
there's still people, if I were to say, I'm no longer afraid of needles, right? I'm gonna be a nurse. I would
Mhm.
come to you and ask, how do I get started? Just
Mhm.
like, you coming to me saying, how do you get started with government contracting? There's people that just don't know. And so you
Right.
can actually still even do that alongside your government contract if you're not already doing that for pay,
Well, yeah, now for pay.
for
Because when, like
pay.
I said, when the girl, her name is Deja. So when Deja said that, she was just telling all her friends, this is my mentor. She's done this, she's done that. I'm like, mentor? I just went to
Right.
your house because your parents asked me to. We all belong to the same church. And I was just trying
Mhm.
to encourage her to stay. And she
Yeah,
just found this passion again. And
beautiful.
she was only in nursing for like 2 years, and her parents were just really nervous because they's like, we spent a lot of money and we don't want Deja to give it up. And so ever
Right.
since then, when she calls me, she was like, this is my mentor. I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel so special.
You're there.
you
You
know.
are there.
But
And
yeah,
so, you
so
can take your expertise, especially you being a traveling nurse, that like that's a whole thing that people
oh
don't know
yeah,
how to do. So I
that is
mean,
true.
and it's kind of hard when you have a very, very giving heart to say charge. Like I don't know,
Yes,
I don't even know how to do it. But
very true.
find out.
I'm gonna have to
That's your
find
homework.
out. I'm gonna find out.
Find out how you could, even if you're
Yeah.
charging $50, even if you're just getting a group, like someone has a group of would-be like nurses or going to a
Mhm.
school and they pay you $500 to come speak for an hour for those who are in the medical pathway. Like
Right.
that's my daughter was in the medical pathway because she wants to be a veterinarian. She goes to school in August. And it's like they had people come and speak to the medical students
Oh wow.
in high school, and the school will pay you.
Okay, now you
That's a
got my
government
wheels turning.
contract. That's
Now
a
you got my
government
wheels
contract.
turning. You got the wheels turning here, Sheena.
Because I want you to, I'm like, come on,
That is
I'm
great.
excited for you. Like, I want you to take what
Oh
your
my
knowledge.
goodness. Because I just thought
Yes.
about this when you said this, because even at North Carolina, so I
Beautiful.
just thought about that, maybe joining my alma mater at North Carolina Central University and helping the nursing students there, and letting them know the government contract. Well, I probably want to go there, but anyway, I'm still learning that. But just in nursing, different things that you can do at being a nurse, I guess.
And they will pay you.
Wow, never thought about that.
Government contract.
Wow,
It
wow,
is because the
wow.
school system has their own as well. So you can even, I see now that we're even expounding on this, I see training contracts all the time, but I'll be like, oops, that ain't me. So I'll just like swipe past it. But when it
Wow.
comes to your industry, and okay, so you can go at that. Just talking about NCAT, for example, you can go at that so many different ways because you're already alumni, right? So you can just talk to the people that are in the school right now. If you know the ones that you have a good relationship with, and say, hey, I'm looking to come and give, whether it's an encouragement or a speech to the future nurses, doctors, whomever. I mean, any medical field, right?
Mhm.
So you can kind of pitch it to them in a very light way because you got your money. You're not over here desperate.
Right,
So
right.
like you're coming
Mhm.
to them saying, hey, I would be happy to do that, and they're gonna say, well, how much do you charge? You're gonna say $500 an hour or more.
Wow.
You're gonna tell them exactly, and then they might say, no, well, we can't do that. But, okay, no problem. When you're ready, let me know. And just keep the conversation, checking in every quarter, every month, however you can keep up, and then start expounding to the other colleges, any other colleges that you have any type of relationship with, whether you worked at like Emory or whatever. You might have worked at Emory, but they also have a school. So then you kind of expound on that and just let them know that you're there. They don't know you're there. They don't know that
Right.
you're around and that you're willing to just talk the same way that you spoke to the young lady the same way that you probably spoken in other platforms. That's all you're doing. And they're gonna be like, oh, you can do this? Like, so encouraging.
Wow,
And all you're
wow.
doing is telling your experience.
I
That's
love it.
yes.
That's why, that's why I resonated so well with you when I saw you on JT Automation. I'm like, I gotta get this. I
So
gotta get it here.
happy.
I gotta get it here. I love it. I love it.
And I
And you
love
know what?
this.
I love the course. I love the course. And I also love the community where we're not on a Facebook page, just like in our own. I
Yep.
love that. And if you have not done this, we need to meet personally. So everybody that wants to come together, we need to do that. I do a
Yeah.
lot of I do a lot of in nursing, we have to have these CEUs. So with the CEUs, they they have us going to like different places like Las Vegas. Las Vegas October. Um, and so like, to meet other people in the business and you get to
Yeah.
network and talk and stuff like that. So you got to do that.
That
So I
is
can
so
meet.
funny. My friend was like, we're gonna start doing government contracting cruises. I was like, when? Like, what are you
Yes,
talking
yes,
about?
I love it. I'm there. I am
Okay,
there.
that's I
I am there.
that might work. That might work. Now
I
you're giving me
am there.
okay. That's that's my sign. We can do
I
that.
am there. Thank
We
you
can do that.
so very much. I'm going
You're
to
so
start
welcome.
on this. I'm going to finish that course and
Yes.
before long I'm going to be looking for some contracts.
Yes. And
I
sooner
love
rather
it.
than make but your homework while you're doing the
Yes.
course, your action step is to reach out to NCAT.
Yes.
Okay, and just try to poke around and see what you can find. Whoever you got a contact with, like, hey, do they have people come to, to speak to the medical students?
Mhm.
I would be happy to share my experience. And it may be, say they might want you to do it for free once or
Uh-huh.
just to see how you do. That's still okay. Everything doesn't have to be paid, but
Uh-huh.
just knowing that that's what you're getting toward. And you're like, wow, I had such a great reception doing it for free. Okay, your next one is going to be for a charge,
Right, gotcha.
you know?
I like it. Okay. I'm taking notes, sorry.
Yeah, I see. No problem at all.
All right, sounds great. That is so
Awesome.
great. Oh my goodness.
I'm happy for you. I want you to do well. I want
Thank you so very
feedback.
much.
I want, all the
Thank you
things
so much.
that's my main objective is for you all to win. Even if you don't win contracts and you're like, you know what? Now Sheena got me doing TED Talks. Look, a win is a win.
A win is a
A
win,
win is a
right?
win for me.
I
Okay.
remember you saying that. It's a win.
Yes, I love it.
That's right.
And if you have any
Thank you
questions,
so very
of
much.
course, you can reach out anytime. Okay.
Okay. All right,
So great
perfect.
talking with
Thank
you, Shonda.
you.
Have a great
All
day.
right. Have a good one.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
goodbye.